conferences, and it's largely at this point focused on response to natural disasters, like I said, but they desperately kind of want to bring it to South Carolina, and they're interested in also this increasingly responding to man-made disasters. So we have an opportunity to explore with this organization, which would kind of let us, they'd be helpful in terms of getting us some grant funding and getting some training sessions in. So I think as much as we can put tentacles out and just start trying to make this happen, and if we can do something that get something here in kind of a place that we're comfortable with in South Carolina, and if it can kind of become a model for other states or regional areas, then that would be great. If we, if it seems that SAA's got it under control, then if we don't want to duplicate efforts, then there's that too. I think that's what we need to explore further is this something that we want to take on? Yes.
I have no doubt that the South Carolina Federation of Museums would be a part of this. Now, are y'all presenting at their conference?
We can.
I think the thing is already set, but it's something that I'm a board member on them, so would be happy to take back and talk about, because one of the things that we like to do is have disaster planning, but we were thinking more of hurricane stuff. But I think we could, like you said, not duplicate resources, but work together to do things and bring the best people on board. And then you started to mention funding, and one of the things I was taking notes on was, having that war chest ready, so you don't have to scramble for, asking Gaylord, or those things. So that might be something we look at early, is how to get money behind it, because always have to have money.
Money was one of the biggest issues, and even in doing our work, we kind of brought in our own. We were in setups where we didn't have computers. We were working on our own laptops with no Wi-Fi, and just, I think at one point someone had said, "What do you need for computers?" And then that never got, those efforts never pushed out beyond, I think, us giving someone a list, and then nothing ever happened. So there were so many limits to how much assistance we could help other individuals, because this wasn't an institutional collection. It wasn't the City of Charleston collection or South Carolina Historical Society collection. It is the church's collection, and we are helping them only as much as they want or as much as they need. And so this process sort of has healthy, I think, respect for boundaries and limits, and an understanding of where the church in our case is in the process of recovering.
The Federation has a...
Let me just add one thing. When we talk about money, it's such an important topic. One of the things that may not be considered in terms of funding, but is your own staff funding. And this is what needs to be brought in and discussed in advance, because while we may have responded with lots of goodwill, that lasts for a certain period of time, but then the institutions for which you work, your staff, and they're paying you, or you may have to volunteer, which goes to another realm of responsibility. So all this needs to be worked out, because when the tragedy happens, it may not be part of the annual work plan, and yet your director, your board, or whatever is, wait, hold on, let's pray for you to do all that, but we've got to get this done. And there's no money to keep, to do both. So this is where it needs, this plan that we're talking about really needs to look at both the response as well as the preparation, including funding.
And I'd like to say that if it were not for, contacts, I work for the mayor and served, so that helped. So, which means it was easy for the chief of police, because I thought the deputy chief. So, and the boys in the group, they were there all the time helping. And with the historical society, all of these things, there was some kind of area. So I cannot say enough about the historical agency, whether it's the Historical Society, Drayton Cole, the City of Charleston, the other areas, the group that you work for, the College of Charleston, all of these entities, all of these agencies, and like you said, that with Celeste and Historical Society, her boss knew about it, so that they were really involved, and I was so touched entire area, coming in, many of the bosses, the governor, the senators, they all came to Emmanuel, and I reminded them who I was. And so they were sympathetic, for lack of a better word, to all of those things, and I think sometimes tragedy did bring people together. And I think that I'm not gonna go political.
Well, I hope we can, yes, Beth, one more question.
I support this wholeheartedly. Very unfortunate thing we have to think about doing, but I think it's necessary. And I'm currently serving as chair of SCAA, so I know that there are a lot of members, cross over a good bit in all of our organizations, but PALMCOP, SCAA, the Museum Federation, the local historical federations as well. I think if we can get all of these groups involved, that really would help to spread it across the state.
Yes.
And so there's a wonderful expertise sitting right down there that can help us get started in developing the guidelines. But I do think that it's something we should move forward with.
It would help if you would give your name so that when you speak.
Well, I'm Beth Bilderback, and I'm the Visual Materials Archivist at South Carolina Indiana Library, University of South Carolina.
I think that's a great suggestion, Beth, so sign up sheets down here.
Yeah.
Let's get it started there. And I want to say one more thing to the larger national effort is I think that within that there are still peculiarities within each state and sort of this idea of immediate response and personal assistance at your going across the state, people stepping in and kind of lending that personal assistance. And if we then spring to a national kind of toolkit, I think there's a way. I think there's a way for there to be the national and a local level kind of movement on together. I think it's really good. So let's continue this conversation. Please sign up, and we'll try to pull together a planning meeting. Thank you all. Thank you so much to everyone who's out there on the panel. It's time for lunch.
Yep, I got some.
Wonderful. I've written an article for History News, spring issue, titled Personal and the Professional, but it's dealing with museums responding to the tragedy. And at the end of that, I have 10, 15 questions. If any of you would like to look at this, see me, I'll give you a copy of it, but it's still in draft form. So I'd love to hear from you about things that I can maybe add to my article, or delete from my article.
Thank you very much, everybody. Just a few little